Blake with SWAT Roofing and Contracting at 15932 Blaketree Drive for a Kendall Russo. Going up on the roof now. We're going to attempt a repair test on the back slope since it was already paid for and we don't want to damage the roof anymore. Okay, coming up here.
Alright, we're going to be doing a repairability back here. We already know that this slope was paid for, so we're going to choose one back here. Okay, so this one stops right here, the shingle, and ends right here. So it's not tied into the ridge on this one. That one is, this one isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt this one. So I've got to remove a couple nails of rows, which means I've got to manipulate some surrounding shingles. This roof in particular is over 15 years old. It's a 3-tab shingle. You can see the age of this roof just from the beginning of the video. Walking around, we've got some granule loss. These shingles are real old and brittle. Will you hold that one?
Yeah.
So I've got the insurance approved snake tool. I'm going to use this to nail in, and we'll go over that in a minute. But first thing I'm going to do is remove the nails from this one damaged shingle. So the first one. You can already see under there I'm getting some matte transference. Get this freaking nail out without damaging anything. Doesn't want to come out of there. There we go. So I'm trying to be as careful as possible. As you can see, barely lifting the shingle up, being very generous with this pry bar. And so this shingle doesn't matter because I'm replacing this one. But once I start manipulating the other one, it's gonna cause that same type of damage in there. And I'm gonna have to, I've now compromised the shingle's R factor, the insulation factor of the shingle. So it's never going to perform the same now that it's been compromised. That's just one thing. Number two, you can see this transference under there. This is where the shingle ends right there. You can see the same thing there. Just getting more damage. I mean, again, this one doesn't matter, but when I go to a shingle that's supposed to stay on the roof, I'm going to create more damage. So now that's that row of nails. Now there's another row, which means I've got to manipulate the more shingles to get to that row right there. So if you can tell, the shingle stops here. So that's one shingle. The second nail for this is up on this row right here, and now I'm affecting 2 different shingles. So just for this one shingle, I'm already on these two shingles, and I've created mat transference from the shingles to the bottom layer. So I've already affected top and bottom, and I haven't even started nailing it. So you can see right here, I'm being very cautious, very slow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so just a few more nails and this will be out. My leg went numb there for a second.
All right.
See, that one just pulled straight through. I don't know if you can see that one right there, but that one just pulled straight through. So when that happens, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I've either got to shove it back through that hole, or I've got to pull it out from the bottom, which means now I've got to manipulate this shingle a little bit higher, which we don't want to do that, or I can push it through like that and pull it out, but I'm just going to damage it either way. This will be the last nail. Same thing with that one. Shouldn't be another nail under here. Trade me. I use my pry bar because the end of this pry bar it's too thick, and it really damages the shingles when I try to pry it. My pry bar is a lot thinner. Okay, so the way that this tool works is you gotta load up a nail in the socket, and then this goes underneath the shingle, and I'll show you the pros and cons of this tool. Just lined up in here. And now all the ones that I pulled the nails out and it ended up damaging the shingles themselves, after I put nails in, I'm gonna have to go back and recaulk that stuff just to make sure that it's actually sealed. But it doesn't matter how much caulk I put on there. I've damaged the R factor of the shingle. It's never gonna hold up the same as far as the insulation factor of the shingle. It has now been compromised. Okay, so I'm gonna get this lined up. All right, so this lip right here slides under the lip of this, and it makes it, you know, we don't want to lift the shingle so far that we're going to damage it on purpose, and that's why this tool is good. But the reason why it's not good is because there's a gap right here, and when I nail this thing flush and this hits the shingle, when I pull this out, there's still a gap in the nail that I now have to hit with a hammer to make it flush, otherwise the shingle is not going to seal. So it doesn't matter what tool I use, I am still going to have to manipulate this shingle high enough for my hammer to get in to make sure that I get a nice flush nail head. We'll start with this one right here. Right here on the seal strip. can see, I have to manipulate the shingle anyways to get that thing flush. Otherwise, it's never going to sit flush. So there's one. And the thing, shoot. See how it's sticking up? Now I've got to nail it back in there. I'm gonna have to come back and recalk this stuff, but I'm just gonna go through these nails so that you can see how this behaves and how it affects the shingles. So see this one right here, this is a good one. This is the shingle that we left on here. This is the new one. That's damaged right there. This tool is one of the worst tools. It's so hard to get this thing lined up straight. If I don't hit this absolutely perfect, it will go into the roof sideways. It's much easier and precise to nail it with a hammer like a traditional repair would go, but you know. Now if you look, I'm gonna pull it out right here. See how it's not flush? Now I've got to come back in here, manipulate this enough for my hammer to get in here, so now it will actually lay flush. Just continue with the first row. I just saw that and I wanted to jump on that real quick. We'll go ahead and go here, right on the seal strip. So I'm going to pull this out. Now you can see, once again, every single nail I've got to pull the shingle up past 45 degrees so that I can get that thing nailed in properly so I can have a reseal on here. But if you look underneath the shingle right here, you can see the mat transference from the old shingle to this shingle. So it's never going to properly seal along this. You're going to have this stuff right here that's going to compromise a full seal on this thing. So just based on the stuff that I've talked about right here, this shingle is not repairable. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these nails in here and caulk this, but I think I've shown enough to show you guys that this roof is not repairable. Not a good angle. I gotta go pull that nail out and redo that one. But okay, so you can see the shingle I replaced here. You can see some of the damage I've done around. You saw the mat transference. You know the age of the shingle. You can see the damage I'm creating to the other shingles by doing this repair. In my opinion, this roof is not repairable.